I don't know about you, but in my creative work as an artist and as being an artist and as still always evolving as and into my artist, I face the question, what's next, very often. It comes in cyclical patterns, so sometimes it doesn't come for a very long time, but eventually the question, what's next, will come around. I did face the question today, and I decided to go into meditation. I decided to step away from the process, to not aimlessly try to get back into any one of my many creative processes that I have going on right now, but rather to step away from it and turn to meditation. And from this, I got the following answer. When we don't know where to go next, we have two options. Either stay on the road and make the next step and trust that this next step will be a right one. Or we could step away from the process, step away from that road, and just focus on something else. Maybe we have to step away from the creative work itself. Maybe we have some organizing to do. I personally find that when I don't know what to do next, when I wake up in the morning and I think I know what I'm working on right now, but I really can't seem to find the next step, I find it pretty helpful to turn away from my desk and, for example, start organizing my house, start cleaning up. And in organizing, I find the answers. What evidence is there that tells you that you are not exactly where you are meant to be right now? There's no physical evidence that can tell us we were not at the right place in the right time. So if this physical evidence doesn't exist, then why can we not, based upon that, learn to trust every moment of our creation, of our being? And by our creation, in this case, I really mean we are creators. Overall, we are creators of our reality, of our life. And we have, as a consciousness, been given a moment in time to experience life within a human body. So even if we think we need to be creating something specific at every single moment, which we as artists oftentimes put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be creating something, to create something visible into this world. But if we have been given this opportunity to come into a physical human body and have this physical experience of creating a reality, then who can tell us that not that is right now the one and most important thing to do? Remember that without contrast, there is nothing that exists, really. Anything existing can only exist because it has contrast. So it's just physically not possible to always be in creation mode, or rather to always be in an active mode of doing something, of knowing what to do. So those days where you feel like, maybe you feel down, maybe you feel like that's a down day, let's call them down days, where you don't know what to do next. Those down days are just like anything else that you might perceive as negative. Really, when you look at the balance of all things, they're nothing else but contrast. They're contrast to light, to contrast to your next beautiful creational moment in time. So you should really be appreciating them just as much as the very creative very inspired, very productive times, because really you need them. You need those down days. You need those days where you don't have, or you don't seem to have as much to say or do or decide. So I just wanted to share this moment in time with you. Maybe you do find yourself in a situation in your creative process, or maybe just generally in life, where you do not know what's the next step. Maybe you are waiting for an outcome. Maybe you're waiting for some answers. Maybe you have been giving out a lot and you're just here waiting for the answers and you don't know how to go on without them. I think either take the next step and just keep creating, or just step away from it. But be aware that everything you live is creation, period. And not knowing which step to take next does not mean you are stuck. You can still be this is still just an experience, nothing else really. And maybe you'll not know what to do for the next 3 or 5 or 7 days, right? But maybe when you don't know that, then that means it's time for just something else. Maybe that just means it's time to just create life, just create experience, just live, just breathe, just be inspired. I hope this message reached you well. I hope it gives you something to your creative process at the moment. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you a lot of love, and please do remember that you are worthy and the world needs your art at all times.